Good morning. Welcome to your Saturday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist, here with some interesting words today. It's kind of making me smirk because it was like, wow, that is so interesting. And you know how I've been talking lately about if something shows up again and again and again, we really want to pay attention to it? Well, today's card is a perfect example of that. Grab a little drink here. So let's just start with some nice deep breaths just to settle into right here, right now. Nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Welcome. I knew someone would be popping on pretty soon. Good morning, Cindy. I'm glad you're here. We're just doing our breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Letting your shoulders drop in through the nose, out through the mouth, opening your heart chakra, ready to receive whatever we have for today that resonates for you. In through the nose, spinning open your crown chakra to receive divine energy. Good morning, Joe. Welcome. Glad you're here. Exhaling, just settling in. Just kind of shaking a little bit, a little wiggle to get things settled in and ready to roll. So I have to give you some backstory on this process that occurred today, because I think much of the message for us today is actually in the process as opposed to just the card. The card itself is phenomenal as usual, but the process of getting there was really interesting. So first I muscle tested to see if we were meant to do a card or another part of the book, and it was a card. And then into my mind popped Nature Portals, the Nature Portals deck. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to muscle test and just see what shows up. Nature Portals deck. Trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. So I had done my meditation, my Deepak Oprah meditation prior, and this one is on desire and destiny. I had purchased it when they had it on sale shortly ago and ran through it once and loved it and thought, I'm just going to do the same one again right in a row, really sink that stuff in. So today's was on resilient me. Resilient me. And there was a quote in there. Oprah said, let me drink here. Oprah said about failure, and I wrote it down because I loved it. Perceived failure is just life trying to move us in another direction. Perceived failure is just life trying to move us in another direction. What that does for me is it opens me up to repeat some steps I've already taken that haven't yielded results, but it feels like they need to be administered again to see what happens a second time around. Kind of the Mary Kay Ash idea, there's a fortune in follow-up. That when we do something once, salespeople know this. You don't quit with having asked for the sale once. The rule of thumb is you ask 7 times, and then you'll typically get the yes. Most of us quit after having asked once. So I'm certainly willing to approach these people a second time. This is about my intentional community. And just looking for information on some things, like a room to hold an event to talk about it, an email I sent out to a developer who I thought might fit with this project, etc. Not having heard back from them, I could just let it go. I could move on to others. But these two particular, the event place and the developer, feel like they might be the right opportunities. So I'm willing to reach out again. A couple more times, we'll see what happens. Then I might say, yep, time to move on to something else. All right? So perceived failure is just life trying to move us in another direction. So then I do what I typically do with the card deck. I knock on it to clear all the energy from other readings, etc., and kind of prime the card that's meant for us for today, and shuffled and pulled a card. And it was about patterns, seeing patterns in life, and that seeing patterns in life can be soothing to us, like the seeds in a sunflower, a pine cone, just the things that tend to, the spacing of branch or leaves on a branch, etc. And I sat with that one and I pondered a bit, and just wasn't quite chiming for me today. It's like, I don't know, it feels like we have a different message for today. I don't know. So then I muscle tested, is this the card for today? And the answer was no. So that could be perceived as a failure. Could be. So then I went with, it's just life trying to move us in another direction. So I shuffled the cards again. First thing I want to tell you is the other day we had a card, Stop Doing, Start Being. And that card so struck me. Good morning, Carolyn. Glad you're here. That card so struck me that I put it, I'll show you, in one of my clips, so that I see that all the time. Stop doing, start being. Because I can feel, having returned from vacation, I can feel the head of steam getting built up. Do. I don't want to slide back into that. I want a balance of being and doing. Good morning to whomever else just popped on. So that card's in a clip sitting there. Shuffle the deck, pull a card. Stop doing, start being. Now, why are there two of the same card in the deck? I can explain that. My friend Bobby Silverstone, who I had a wonderful time with yesterday, we did a Zoom where she and I share services back and forth. Good morning, Diane. Glad you're here. And had a lovely time with her. But good morning, Beth. Welcome. Her brother and sister-in-law are the ones who created this deck. And so when I run out of card decks, because I do, sometimes people are interested and they want the card deck, so I will sell them the card deck because I have some in stock. And then I'll reach out to her and say, hey, I need some more card decks. So she used that card deck at a retreat and let everybody pick a card out of the deck that was going to be their talisman for that particular retreat, and that they could take it with them. Well, then she ended up with this partial deck. So she offered me the remainder of the deck. So I just shuffled it in with my own deck, and thus we end up with two Stop Doing, Start Beings. So here we are again. Here's that inland lake, Wisconsin or Michigan. I'll guarantee you that picture's from Wisconsin or Michigan. And stop doing, start being. So as I've said a bazillion times, and you're like, yeah, we hear you. I'm saying it again. When something pops up repeatedly, good morning, Cheryl, welcome. We need to pay attention. So we are getting stop doing, start being again. Before I read the card, I want you to just take a nice deep breath. Let it go. And pose this question within. And then really listen with your intuitive part of yourself that knows what you need to hear. My question is, where in your life are you moving too far into the doing end of things and not appreciating and allowing the being end of things? Just listen. Where am I falling too far into doing and not honoring being? And when you have the answer, I'd like you to say it out loud. It's at work. It's in housekeeping. It's in taking care of someone. It's whatever it is. Say it out loud. I want you to hear it with your physical ears. That is an area of your life where you are putting too much energy into doing and not enough energy into being. So now I'd like you to ask that wise part of yourself again with another breath. What is in my highest and best good with regard to this imbalance? Okay, yep, so Cindy's saying it's letting other people be, not having expectations, demands of other people, allowing allowing them to be exactly as they are. The world would be boring if we were all alike. Yes, some people's ways of being can be irritating to us. So be it. So be it. There's much for us to learn from those people who irritate us. All right? So I'll give you my example of the letting other people be. My dad got injured the other day, and we went to the doctor, which was a total hayride through hell. But the nurse practitioner who saw us stated what he thought was going on, and his prescription was no work for the whole weekend. This is my father. No work for the whole weekend. Use ice, take acetaminophen, and elevate, use a walker. My dad's very ambulatory, so a walker was not, but we have a walker sitting around because we have stuff. So those were the guidances. By yesterday, he's not using the walker. I don't think he took the extra acetaminophen. Ice was never utilized, blah, blah, blah. You can tell from my tone, I'm having an issue letting him be. It's his body. He gets to decide. Nope. Yes, yes. And one thing I think, Cindy, that can help with this, she says, I'm feeling like I have to correct things in other people, whether mentally or verbally. I need to just let them be. Yes, yes, yes. And I want you to think about, how does it feel to you when someone corrects you? That's likely how other people feel when you correct them. Is that the feeling you want to foster in other people? Probably not. Probably not. One of the things that I heard or read, I think, that was very helpful to me with regard to that is, especially with pronunciation, I could be kind of a word Nazi, especially with pronunciation. If someone says a word wrong, it's likely that they learned that word through reading. They didn't hear the word. And I love that Google has that thing where you can say, you just Google, how do you say a word that you don't know how to say? And it will give you a little pronunciation thing. It'll say it out loud for you so you know how to say the word. Not everybody does that. And that's okay that not everybody does that. And allowing them to just be. I was one of those people, when I had an office position open and people would send in their resume. If they had typos on their resume, that was an instant turnoff to me. It's like, you're working a front desk, you're going to be inputting data. If you can't get your resume right, ooh. But I also understand that, yes, I also understand that different generations function differently with that. So really having to practice. No, let that go. Let that go. So going back to start being. Start being. With this particular area that you've picked out, I want you to take another nice deep breath. Let it go. And again, the question, what is in my highest and best good to do about this? It may not be a complete overhaul. It may be some little thing that you can change in how you look at it, what you think about it, what you say when you bump into that circumstance, etc., etc. Pay attention right now to your inner guidance in terms of, what do I do with this? What do I do about this? How do I correct this? What's in my highest and best good? Just listen. All right. Whatever you just received, I want you to ask yourself, am I ready, willing, and able to take that step? Am I ready, willing, and able to take that step? And that's up to you. Don't judge it. Just acknowledge your answer. All right? So now let's go back to our card. Clean up one area at a time. Fabulous. Fabulous. And if you find you pick out an area, I'm just going to make something up here. The area under the stairs. If you find that then you're not doing it, good morning, glad you're here. If you find you're not doing it, it's too big. It's too big a task. Break it down smaller. I will do half of the area under the steps. Or I will do the one box that I can see from where I am right now that's under the steps. Keep making it smaller, smaller. I don't care. I like to tell people ridiculously small, because then you will actually do it. And once you do one thing, you may find you keep going and do more. That's cool. That's cool. It's just getting the vehicle rolling. Oftentimes you can keep it rolling once you have it rolling, but it's getting it rolling. If you look under the steps and you go, oh my God, no, you're not going to get the vehicle rolling. You're not going to get it started. All right? So, baby steps, baby steps. All right, so here's our card for today. Stop doing, start being. We're human beings, not human doings. Allow nature to help you shift your focus from doing to being. Find a quiet spot in a natural environment. You don't need to go off into the wilderness. Just go out into your backyard or to a nearby park, sit on your front porch, whatever it is. Take your time to look around until something in the natural environment catches your attention. When it does, give yourself permission to be present with it. Don't try to name it, understand it, or learn about it. Relax and just be with it. So let's say you're going to do that from where you are right now. And let's say if I look at my desk, I have rocks. I love rocks. So I could take that rock and hold that rock. I'm not analyzing. I'm not trying to understand. Oh, it's sedimentary. It's whatever. No, it's an igneous rock. I'm just holding it. Just holding it. I'm not trying to analyze, well, is it heavier or lighter than the other? No, 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 no. Just be with it. So you might want to just feel into it. Ooh, it's cool in my hand. You know, just be with it. Be present. Okay? So that's your homework. That's your homework. And during the course of today, if you have your list of things you're going to do, in there somewhere, insert a little break where it's be time. Have some be time. I don't care if it's 10 minutes. That's fine. Maybe you just go and sit on the porch. I think actually that's one of the reasons why smokers smoke. It's their little time out, etc. We can maybe hopefully find some healthier ways to accomplish that, but it gives them that time out. There's no reason, even if you don't smoke. If you want to take a 5-minute break and go step outside, do that. Do that. It can clear the cobwebs out of your head. It can refresh your thought process, etc. So here is our quote. John Lubbock. Rest is not idleness, and to lie sometimes on the grass under a tree on a summer's day, listening to the murmur of the water or watching the clouds float across the sky is by no means a waste of time. I love that. So I wanted to dredge up a little bit of something from the book we've been working our way through, Taking the War Out of Our Words. And there's that part in there where they're talking, I can't remember the people's name, but they're renovating a house. And they are at the end of the day, the crew has just left, and they've got a cleanup to do. And the man wants to push through and get the cleanup done so that he can rest. And the woman is up to her eyeballs and wants to take a break and go to the beach and then come back and tackle it. There's an opportunity right there to allow a little bit of nature to maybe help. Maybe they step outside of that room that they're in that's filled with debris, catch their breath out in the fresh air, and then try to talk through what's going to be our best approach, what's going to be in our highest and best good in terms of when do we take a break and when do we do the work. So what I'd like you to do today, should you choose to accept your mission, is take a break. Take some time. Be in nature. You can go for a walk. You can go to the park. You can sit on your front porch. You can sit if it's really cold where you are. Right now here it's 19, I think. Sit and stare out the window. Watch the birds. Do something that allows you to just be. Put yourself in the circumstances of just being. Take a few minutes. See what happens. I think what you'll find is it's refreshing. It fills your tank back up a little bit. It doesn't have to be much of an investment of time, but it allows you to reconnect with nature and clear your head. So stop doing, start being. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.